podcast. I'm Sunshine, the pink haired sober witch, and I'm your host. And I don't know how religiously you watch this or listen to these, I should say, too. But next year, I'm hoping to bring some guests on. But so for right now, it's still just me. Uh, Today's episode, I've got my notes here. Normally, I feel really comfortable just reading my notes, but there's like a bit of me that is thinking I may end up sharing some more things that are even outside of the notes because this topic is kind of big and kind of like, I don't know, heavy for me today, right? I'm talking about something that's going to feel really tender and it's really complicated and there's a lot of layers into it. I want to talk about lying, right? And, lying and dishonesty, I'll say. Uh, Not in like this moral way, not, like trying to point fingers, but how it shows up in relationships, especially when addiction and trauma and intuition are involved. Because lying for me isn't just something that it's not just something that I hear, right? Like somebody just doesn't say a lie and like I hear it. I mean, I guess they do, but not all the time, right? So I want to clarify what I mean by lying. And I've had this conversation so many times in my life because this is a really, really big deal for me, like lying and dishonesty. And so I've gotten into arguments with people before that a lie is something that is only spoken, right? And so we can say people will argue like there's a white lie, there's, the little white lie. But to me, lying is also omission, right? Not telling people what you, you know, would be in their best interest to know. Lying is also something that we can do to ourselves. And for me, like when I experience a lie or dishonesty, it's something that I feel, right? It's something that I feel. Um, my body often knows it before my mind, right? Like I get this kind of knowing or this download, like something's off, something's not right. And at that point, I may start to like go through the mind and I might start to listen. I might listen to their thoughts, right? But my body knows almost immediately, right? And I've started to pay attention to it, kind of like how it shows up. And one of the things is I almost feel like I'm starting to hide, like my body wants to hide. My chest will kind of tighten up, my stomach might drop, my shoulders will curl forward. And this doesn't always have to be very dramatic. Like if you're watching me on video, I'm being very dramatic with this. It can be kind of subtle, right? And it's like my body is trying to protect something fragile, right? Fragile inside of me. Like, oh no, I don't, right? And when this lie is given to me, when somebody is lying to me, right? It's almost as though my body is accepting the projection of their lie, right? I want to pull back. I want to hide. I want to make myself smaller, right? In case, if I were them, in case I was caught in that lie, so to speak. And what leaves me in this moment, when this happens, I'm not, I'm not one that's quick to get angry about it, right? I start to feel personally when I'm being lied to or when somebody's being dishonest, I start to feel unsafe. The safety goes when I hear someone telling me a lie, when I can sense that someone is being dishonest with me, right? And the truth is at that point, it starts to ripple itself out into any area of the relationship. And when I was younger, I would tell myself I was overreacting, or I would try to convince myself I didn't know the truth, right? That I was, making things up, so to speak. I've tried to find this logical way out of believing what my body or what even my gifts were telling me. Or I'd try to justify it like it was a small lie, or they're just afraid, or they're trying to protect themselves, or they're trying to protect me, right? And I could do that for a really, really long time. I hold a lot of compassion for the individuals that have been in my life that have had to lie, that are in positions that they feel lying is the only option. But as I stepped into recovery, I couldn't ignore anymore what the lying was signaling, right? Like the work that I do, it's not just me trying to like heal and to recover, but when people step into my circle, when they step into my path, they are often in their own journey. So for me to no longer tell someone, call someone out, say, I'm seeing this, I'm witnessing you lie to me, is a betrayal of myself and a betrayal to them. So when someone does lie to me, especially when they know that I'm open and honest and I'm willing to work through these hard truths with them, it tells me something incredibly important about them. Really, really important. It tells me they don't feel safe enough to be honest. And that's like a heartbreak. It really is. It's a bummer. Um, I feel bad. I feel sad about that. My heart kind of hurts for them. Um, and I can't unsee it at that point. The lie often fractures my sense of who they are, right? And I start to see it show up in other areas as well. I start to see it in the way that they show up. I start to see it in their words, their explanations, their reassurances of things. I start to see it even in the other scenarios that we may even be interacting it with, right? The ground beneath this in relationship just shifts. And the truth is, you know, those of us that are in recovery, especially for recovery from addiction, are going to know this. Lying plays a very real role in addiction. It just does. That's the honest truth.